Hello and welcome to another whiskey review with me, the Whiskey Novice. Don't adjust your sets, it's just that time of year when it gets so damned hot that I turn a slightly different shade of pink. It's hotter than hell here. So this is review number 195, part 3 of a series where I'm looking at some bourbons and ryes. So let's get on with this, shall we? Let's not dither. We're looking at Willett Kentucky Straight Bourbon, or sometimes you see it Willett Pot Still Reserve. I think it's all the same thing, really. Thing of beauty. An absolute thing of beauty, I think. I've said recently about bottles, I think I've mentioned it quite a bit recently, about bottle shapes not meaning an awful lot to me, but this just wallow in that. That is a thing of beauty. I think that is an absolute thing of beauty. This bottle in particular was gifted to me by my good friend there in the Pacific Northwest, Bud Jenkins. Bud, thank you so much for this. And it was a good couple of years ago, if not more, that Bud gifted this to me. Doesn't look like as if there's an awful lot out of that bottle. Remember, it was probably up to here at one point. It's not an awful lot, but I'll tell you later why there's not an awful lot out of that bottle. There is a reason why there's not an awful lot out of that bottle. So, Bardstown there in Kentucky, this one from, and where it's probably also hotter than hell. This one bottled at 47%, a straight bourbon, so therefore no colour added. Good things we hear about it. We like that, so let's get into it, shall we? Soft, elegant start to proceedings. Then the sharper acetone and oaky notes start to come through. Settle down once more. Orange, lots of orange. Citrus and vanilla, two very prominent things. I'm actually going to go back and say citrus and fudge, more so than just vanilla. Very prominent. Agitate this again for some wood polish, custard powder. Look, all very general notes that I use for bourbon, because there's almost a script there. They don't tend to stray from them an awful lot. The difference being here that there's an absolute and very definite elegance about it. Something very gentle the whole way through it. It's not shouty, it's not all sharp, it's not all soft orange, it's not all this or all that. It's just all very, works very well together and is all nice and gentle the whole way through. So let's get into the palate then. Yeah. Yes. Round, light, bittersweet arrival. Certainly does not feel like 40%. This is, and I'm going to use a word that we don't like using, this is silky smooth on the palate, on the tongue. Why, if you're just joining me, why do we not use the word smooth? Why do we not like the word smooth? There's a reason why I don't like the word smooth. When people talk to me about a smooth whiskey, generally they're not really long in their journey, or they're not really even on a whiskey journey. They just fancy the old whiskey. And when they talk about smooth, they mean something that's not going to burn on the way down. Well, let me tell you, all whiskey burns on the way down. It is ethanol's want. I've said it many times before. You grow to live with it. You call that burn, you give that burn a name. It's peppery, it's chili, it's this, it's that, it's cinnamon, etc. Most times you don't even notice it anymore. It's just becomes part of the thing, part of the experience. But I'm convinced that the word smooth does come back into the vocabulary of whiskey, but it's over the palate. And as I said about this, silky smooth, this just glides across the palate. It's fantastic that way. Once again, elegant, gentle. With enough caramel, with enough vanilla to keep the taste buds excited. The oakiness is there, but it sort of represents as creme brulee or even egg custard. Once again, fantastically elegant or gentle, or there's just something about it. Finish goes quite typically dry, yet again, some would say of bourbon. But, once again, it's sort of medium to fairly long, and this sounds weird in describing, I'm sure it sounds weird in describing a finish. Once again, elegant. Enough of the flavour hangs around. Not only does it hang around, but then it starts to come back, and then before you realise it, it has just left. It leaves unannounced. It doesn't make a big show about stop there, gone, if your finish is over. Just plays around for a while and then gone. Leaving you wanting to come back for more, and every time you come back for more, you just bring it all back again. It's not a new experience every time. You're just bringing it all back. You're experiencing it and enjoying it every time you go back. And I love this. It is an elegant thing. I said about bottle shapes before. What did I say about bottle shapes before? Well, excuse me. If it adds to the whiskey, which it does here, because you've got, in my opinion, you've got a good whiskey here and a fantastic bottle shape which adds to it. So it's all just one great thing. I said also that there was a reason why there wasn't a lot out of this. This was a gift, as I mentioned. And that to me made it a bit special in the first place. But the fact that I enjoyed it since day one sort of made it my special occasion bourbon. So that is why there's very, very little out of it, because I don't often go to this. And when I do go to it, I enjoy it. What more could you ask? What more could you ask of any whiskey that if you return to it, you enjoy it? It's something that you've forgotten how good it was. And I do. The other thing is I'm looking at the back of this bottle, and every now and again the light catches it and there's gold writing on the bottle, and it's like something out of Lord of the Rings. Good grief. Fair play to them. Now the thing that I might not have mentioned, this probably isn't even Willett bourbon. this is back a bit. I don't know. I didn't dive too deep into the story, but what I did read was that this was probably sourced stuff, and it was probably sourced from Heaven Hill. Right now, do I care? Not a jot. I'm just enjoying this. Not going to add water. Did so. Didn't do any favours. I think I'm just going to leave it at that before I in the words of the Wicked Witch of the East, West, can't remember. I'm melting. Yes, right, I'm back. So, I haven't quite melted yet, but getting there. What would I suggest as an alternative? Well, I did say I like this. I do like it. I didn't, it's... No, I was going to go down the path of, it was a gift, so therefore, no, that's rubbish. It was a gift. I'm not saying it's fantastic because it was a gift. I'm saying it's fantastic because, in my opinion, it's fantastic. There. Probably shouldn't have had to explain that, but I'm going to anyway. What would I offer up as an alternative? Well, excuse me once again. I haven't been well. It's another one of my favourites. 1792, the small batch. This is the bourbon that I rave about generally. When I get talking to bourbon people and they ask me about any favourites of mine, I tend to go for the 1792. There was something about it. There's something, once again, sweet, something quite elegant about it. Not the ball. In this case, actually, although it's quite a fancy ball, I don't really care that much. But I just like this bourbon. Since day one, I've just enjoyed this bourbon. I don't even know. It's so long from, 46.85. Not a million miles away, ABV wise. But my recommendation, either way, 1792 or Willett, just both good suggestions for bourbon for me to try. Price wise, I forgot to hit on that for the Willett. It's now, as far as I can tell, as far as I can see, around the sort of £70 to £75 mark. Pricey enough for a bourbon. But you treat it like I do. Keep it as a bit of a special occasion bourbon. only bring it out every now and again, well, you'll get plenty of joy out of it. I'm convinced you will get plenty of joy out of it. It is a good one. It is. So thank you to Bud once again. Thank you to all of you for joining me. Thank you very, very much to my patrons, should anyone wish to join that group. The details are in the video description below, and I will leave a little video up here just to tell you a little bit more about my patronage. Until the next time, as long as I'm still standing, I will see you. Take care. Here's your good health. Cheers.
Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.